Texas stereotypes, oil, gas, cattle, and cars, they're largely true. There's a lot of red meat out there. There are a lot of 8-lane freeways, but you have to be careful. Every place is also another place. I've been a dumpster diver in the same set of neighborhoods now for almost 15 years. What I find is very little of it is actually trash. Really, most of it is plastic, packing material, boxes, lots of discarded clothes, food, some edible, some not. A great amount of food goes to waste. One thing I've learned over the decades now of scrounging is not to look for anything in particular, because A, you'll generally be disappointed, and B, it will blind you to what actually the potential is. And so what that leads me to look for is scrap metal that can be recycled and make a little money for me if possible, but also clothes, kitchenware, tools, bedding, anything that anybody can use at the homeless shelter or at a thrift store or at the food pantries. The danger that comes from scrounging I find to be almost entirely legal. Once you master the art of avoiding foul-smelling trash and learning not to rip open bags full of broken glass, after that it's not that dangerous. What the danger really is from security guards and police officers, partly because in American society in the last few decades we have become increasingly aggressive in terms of our laws that regulate and criminalize the homeless and people on the margins. I'm in academia, I think, for a couple of reasons. One is that I wanted to always learn more about how to understand the world I lived in and to be more critical and thoughtful about the everyday life I lived. But also I really cared about trying to pass some of that on to students and get them to think creatively and critically. So I don't know, I try to be very inclusive as a teacher. I really don't believe in lecturing students with my beliefs. I believe in getting them to think, and I know I attract students who are interested in exploring alternative ways of living and who have a sort of, I guess, residual discomfort with the way they were brought up. They know something might be missing when life has been mostly shopping malls and private schools. So I hope I at least let them see the possibility of other ways of thinking and other ways of living. I've always been careful not to assume that my politics are somehow more sophisticated than other people's just because I've gone to school or, in fact, what I tend to find on the streets, people have a pretty good sense of politics. They might not articulate it in the same way that you and I would, but there's often a sense of self-motivation, self-survival, not bowing down to authority, not selling yourself short. I find a lot of dignity on the streets and a lot of sense of commitment and community. So I think a lot of people who are digging at dumpsters are desperate in some ways, but I think they're making choices, and in some ways very good choices in other ways. I think it does require a willingness to sort of take things into your own hands, a willingness to directly engage with your problems without asking a psychiatrist, a police officer, a professor for permission or that much advice. Don't look at me as though I'm the one who has figured it out. There's 1,000 other people doing it too.